Noche UFC isn't actually like that good of a card. I mean, it's okay. You've got, you know, it's very weird with this card because if you look at the placement of fights, it's like Alexander Hernandez versus Diego Ferreira should be on the main card here, which would definitely make the main card look a lot better. It's still, not the best. It's okay. Um, but I think the thing that pretty much everyone is excited for with this card is the main event. I mean, this fight is going to be a banger. Either way, both guys are incredibly entertaining. They go out to scrap. They're both very powerful. There's probably going to be a knockout in this fight. Um, and I'm just here to, continue the tradition that I've started since Aljo versus Ortega of breaking down, either the biggest or the most interesting fight on the card to me. I mean, when with Aljo versus Ortega, I know it wasn't the main event, but I was like, okay, it's more interesting to me than Min Yang versus Walker because I thought that Min Yang was just going to chin Johnny Walker, but no, our boy got fraud checked, but it's fine, he'll be back. That's not important right now. The Kaio versus Amavov pick worked out well, so I'm going to be predicting this one. So, before I actually get into the breakdown, there's something that I think a lot of people are trying to include as part of this prediction that I don't give a fuck about, and I don't think you should either, and it's that Jean Silva's a fighting nerd, and the fighting nerds have been losing recently. I mean, Prates lost to Ian Gary, then he beat Jeff Neal, but he's had a loss. Borralio and Ruffy just both lost on the same event, which, what the fuck, Ruffy, what was that, mate? Like, I thought you were the GOAT. I thought you were this amazing prospect. Whatever. The point is, people are now saying, "Oh, this means Gene Silver's going to get fraud checked." Like popular MMA YouTubers like MMA Guru and a lot of other people are using this logic. Cage side convos on TikTok I saw using this. Yeah, now I'm just way more confident in Diego Lopes to win. Why does it matter? The only reason people are making this a big deal is because the fighting nerds make it such a big part of their personality that they're part of the gym. Because they've all come up through the UFC at a similar time, so they're all exciting, so they're all getting hyped together. But if that thing wasn't true, if they were just four guys from the same gym, no one would be saying this. You know what I mean? No one would be saying this. No one when someone at ATT loses goes, well, I guess Pantoja's losing his next fight. Oh, Moicano lost on 317. Well, that means a few spots down the card, Pantoja's also going to lose. You know what I mean? No one does that. That's just an example that I can think of. So let's get that narrative out of the way. Let's just break down the fighters and know what gyms they're from. Because also the fighting nerds, like, none of them really have similar styles to each other. And they're all mainly strikers, apart from, I guess, Braulio, although he's fell in love with the hands. But on the feet, they're nowhere similar. And, yeah, so Gene Silva, what I've read about his style, he's a stocky kickboxer. He's a stocky guy, strong, powerful. Very good defensive grappling. If you watch the Bryce Mitchell fight, he was a very good offensive grappler, I might add. And Jean Silva had more success in the grappling against Bryce Mitchell than Ilia Topuria did. Ilia Topuria had to rock Bryce Mitchell and then sub him. Jean rocked him, and then a couple minutes later he subbed him, which makes it more legit. And he was just completely shutting down the grappling before that. Got to his feet the only time he got taken down because he pulled guillotine and then just got back up to his feet. Diego Lopes, man, he's very wild. He's unpredictable. He has very good power, decent boxing in the pocket. Not the most technical, but it's dangerous. And he has very good BJJ submissions off his back. However, he isn't really the type to shoot takedowns. If someone's going to get subbed by Diego Lopes, they have to shoot on him. He reminds me a bit, on the feet, he reminds me of Jamal Hill. And you guys are going to be like, whoa, what are you talking about? Jamal Hill is not great against pure strikers. But or just like good strikers, but as an anti-grappler, when he's fighting someone who wants to grapple against him, Jamal Hill is very good, and that's what Diego Lopes kind of reminds me of, because he is dangerous on the ground. A lot of people don't want to take him to the ground. On the feet, he can beat these grapplers who don't really want to be there. You know what I mean? And also he has good takedown defense if you watch the Volk fight. But yeah. So this is another narrative. I'm seeing a lot of people being like, I just think Diego Lopes is gonna be too much for him, mate. I just think Diego Lopes is gonna ragdoll him. He's gonna ragdoll. Diego Lopes in all of his UFC fights has shot. I might be wrong. I'm pretty sure he shot 2 takedowns, because we're not gonna count the Contender Series fight because that's a UFC fight. The Movsar fight, he didn't shoot any takedowns. The Tucker fight, he got taken down and sewed him off his back, and it's Gavin Tucker. The Sabatini fight, he knocks him out early. The Yusuf fight, he knocks him out early. Shoots one takedown against Dan Ige, one takedown against Brian Ortega. He's not that good of a wrestler. I feel like a lot of it is physicality, or he's imposing enough on the feet for people to. They're thinking about the hands because he's such a headhunter. So he's usually going high, although he does have decent calf kicks. That he's going high and then he shoots low. That's kind of Diego Lopez's thing. He might have shot more. He might have shot against Volk. I don't. He might have. I might be wrong there, but he didn't have any success with the wrestling or grappling against Volk. He was able to stuff some takedowns though, which is impressive. Jean Silva stuffing, like just showing down the offensive grappling of Bryce Mitchell. Bryce Mitchell is super underrated. He's a better technical wrestler than Diego Lopez. Maybe he doesn't have as good submissions as Lopez, but I think his control and his ability to get the fight to the mat is better than Lopez. So Jean Silva doing that to him is very impressive. I don't see the grappling as being a factor here. In fact, I think if Lopez does shoot a takedown, I think Jean Silva will shuck him off and laugh in his face, which will probably just rage bait Lopez more. This is the chance I see for Diego Lopez to actually win this fight. He's very aggressive early. If you look at the Ortega fight, he almost knocked him out in the first round, had him like out on his feet, and then he kind of woke him up with a punch almost. And the Yusuf fight, he knocks him out early. The Volk fight, it was the second round, which is still relatively early. He didn't knock him out, but he hurt him. And also Volk is just that good, like. Yeah, and he's having his success against Ige early. Arguably, probably won the first round against Movsar. So that's the thing with Diego Lopez. Yeah, very aggressive early. Jean Silva, if you look over here where I've circled on his record, this was just in his last fight, but because it's the most recent example I can think of a fight that went over a round. He finished Melsick early, although with Melsick he was low output early, made his reads, landed the shot, put him out. If you look at the strikes, right, the first round Jean Silva only lands 9 strikes. Then he lands 18. Jean Silva grows into the fight. He gets a lot more precise. He throws with more output as the fight goes on. Which is where Diego Lopez could have success if Jean Silva's trying to make his reads early and Lopez just comes crashing forwards and cracks him in the pocket, right? I could see it, but I need to talk about the striking, man, because this is just one of many examples up here of, in the Volk versus Lopez fight, how open on the feet Lopez was. So as you can see here, they step into the pocket. Lopez throws an uppercut and a hook. No setup, no reads, no feints, just throws it. Uppercut hits the armpit. Hook grazes over the top of the head, doesn't land. Volk cracks him over the top with the right hand. This is just one of many examples of Jean Silva throwing this hook right hand combo, which he loves. It's very accurate, and usually he's feinting to get you to kind of meet him. When he goes forwards, you're going to go forwards because he's very good at setting that up with feints. Then he just kind of draws them into the left hook, which then sets up the right hand. Boom. Usually is dropping them. It's what he knocked out Melsick with. It's what he dropped Bryce Mitchell with. He lands it a lot. As I said down here, Volk is more technical than Jean Silva, but the openings are there for everyone against Lopez. I see it. He has defensive issues on the feet, and offensively he doesn't set things up well. Even if he does maraud early, which I know I said that was his method to success, he could run into shots, right? And Jean Silva, I think, is more powerful than Volk. I don't think that's really a big debate. I'm not. Yeah, I'll say what I was about to say later. So as for this, I think Jean Silva has a massive advantage in this regard. And this is another thing about Diego Lopez's defense. It's just like, so when he's standing idly, his regular stance is a high guard. He has a very tight high guard. Jean Silva has good body kicks, pretty good body hooks. He targets the body quite a bit in his fight, so I could see that being success. And then here, Lopez always, when you enter the pocket, he's throwing these big swinging uppercuts. His hands are coming right down. He's throwing the big swinging uppercuts, which I think is going to be an issue when Silva can just crack him over the top with a left hook with a right hand. So yeah, I think it's pretty obvious. You guys probably knew who I was going to pick. Jean Silva. This could be a dot stoppage or a decision. Lopez is tough. He has a very good chin. The moments he was getting wobbled by Volk, I could see if Jean Silva lands similar shots, him putting him out. So I'm putting around 3 KO for Jean Silva. I'm pretty confident in this pick, and I think Jean Silva as an underdog is a very good prediction. And what I was gonna say is, I don't want Jean Silva to win, man. I don't like him. He's a little gremlin. He's a, well, he supports a certain state that is doing some very bad things right now. And he actually went on their news, which is just not good, is it? It's not very cool. It's not cool beans. So it annoys me when people do that, and also he's just annoying. I'm not even really a Lopes fan. I think Lopes is very salty, and he was very unlikable in the Volk fight. Like, he's screaming in Volk's face and trying to beckon him on, and it's like, mate, you've been getting beaten up for 5 rounds. Don't fucking. But yeah, I'm rooting for Diego Lopes, but I think Gene Silva's gonna knock him out. So in a way, I guess Gene Silva winning wouldn't be bad for me because then I got my prediction right. But yeah, that's the video, lads. That is the video. I'm probably gonna very, very soon drop my full predictions for the card. Or I don't know, even if I'll do full predictions, maybe just the fights that I want to talk about on that card. In a bit, lads.